Hi everyone, my name's Nicole. I'm joining you from Wichita, Kansas with your yoga flow on Genesis Go. For today's class, you'll just need an open space in your home, a yoga mat if you have one available, and really just about 45 minutes here to open up the body and relax the mind a touch. We'll get started. Taking a comfortable seated position, resting with the shoulders on top of the hips, the ears on top of the shoulders. Allow the corners of the jaw to soften, the top of the head to become light. And keeping the throat soft, begin to deepen the breath, feeling the back of the body expand and lift. As you exhale, feel the front of the body soften and release. To add a bit of motion to this, as you breathe in, rock forward, lift the shoulders. Then as you exhale, rock back and allow the shoulders to release. Pressing down through the sitting bones, breathing in, lengthening the sides of the waist, lifting the shoulders as you breathe in. As you exhale, rocking back, allowing the shoulders to soften. One more time, smooth breath in, arching the back, lengthening the sides of the waist, the shoulders lift. Exhale, allow the shoulders to release, the body to soften back. Finding this foundation, breathing in, sweeping the arms up, looking toward the hands. Exhale to bring the hands down toward the heart to release. Look toward the right hip. Place the right hip on the right hand on the mat, letting the shoulder, the elbow soften. Breathe in, sweep the left arm over. Now your choice here, let the head tilt toward that hand that's on the mat. Either look toward the knee, the left knee, or look underneath the left arm. Lengthening through the left side of the waist, left side of the neck lengthens as well. Taking another breath here. Bend the elbow, bring the shoulders upright. Breathe in, sweep both arms up, look up, finding length. Bring the hands down toward the heart to release. Let's do the other side, looking toward the left hip, letting the left elbow, left shoulder soften toward the mat. Sweep the right arm over. Continuing to keep even pressure in both sitting bones, tilting the head, looking either toward that right knee or looking underneath the right arm. Finding space along the right side of the neck, space along the right side of the waist, letting that left elbow and shoulder stay soft. Taking a breath in here. Staying here as you exhale, settling into the hips. And bend the elbow, bring the shoulders upright. Take a breath in here, sweep both arms up. As you exhale, bring the hands down toward the heart, nod the chin in toward the chest, and then walk the hands forward. I'll slide back so I can stay within your view. Pressing down through the hands, the sitting bones. Allow the shoulders to roll forward here so you can open up the space underneath the shoulder blades and across the middle of the back. Top of the head releases in the direction of the thumbs. Front of the chest stays soft. Outer hips release toward the mat. Staying here, take a breath in, feel the back expand. Front of the chest softens away from the chin as you exhale. And then walk the shoulders back so they're on top of the hips. Last time like this, smooth breath in, the arms sweep up. The hands come down to the heart to release. Let's come on to hands and knees, the tabletop position from here. Making sure that the palms are flat, fingers are spread so you can get all of the knuckles, the finger pads on the mat. Knees are underneath the hips, looking toward that space in between the thumbs so the neck stays long. One round of cat-cow. As you inhale, the abdomen and chest sinks down toward the mat. You look forward, shoulders stay wide. Exhale, round the back, look toward the thighs as you reach the spine up. Think of lifting the sides of the waist, the shoulders away from the mat. And find your neutral spine, your flat back. Step your right foot back and then your left to your plank position. Lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog, but once you get here, take the feet wider so that they're toward the edges of the mat. Bend the knees, really think about sticking your seat up, lifting the sitting bones away from the heels. Let the head hang down in the direction of the thumbs and look toward the space in between the knees or in between the thighs. Using the shoulders to press the torso back, tops of the thighs pull the hips up and back. Take a breath here. And then shift forward to lower the knees. Knees stay wide, but now the toes come to center. Shift back toward the heels for child's pose. Abdomen softens onto the thighs. Chin nods in toward the chest. The forehead can rest on the mat. If that's not a reality for you to start out, you can make a fist. Let the forehead rest on the fist. The neck can release, jaw can relax. Feel the back expand as you breathe in. The body softens as you exhale. Then come forward, hands and knees, tabletop position. You can adjust the knees so they're back underneath the hips, looking in between the hands. Again, cat-cow, you're inhaling so the abdomen and the chest sinks down. The whole spine softens toward the mat. You look forward. Exhale, round your back, look toward the thighs as you reach the spine up, separating each of the notches within the spine, separating the ribs. Then find your neutral spine, your flat back. This time the left foot steps back and then the right for plank. Hips lift up and back for your downward facing dog. Again, stepping the feet wide here in the beginning. Especially if your heels tend to spin in towards center, taking the feet wider than you think you may need will help with letting the outside of the hips relax, help with keeping the ankles and the heels centered, toes going forward. Keep pressing the torso back, keep lifting the hips high, take another breath here. And then shift forward to lower the knees. Again, knees stay wide. Feet come toward center, hips soften toward the heels for child's pose. Abdomen toward thighs. We can add that tricep stretch in, bringing the palms to touch, bending the elbows so the hands move toward the ceiling or toward the back of the neck. Feel the sides of the waist open as you breathe. Throat stays soft as you exhale. Then release the hands down onto the mat. Come forward, hands and knees. We'll lower all the way down from here. Abdomen and chest come down to the mat. Toes will come out to the edges of the mat. Your heels can turn in slightly here for these first few rounds of Cobra Pose. And again, this is a good option if the low back is a bit tight or if the hips are feeling a bit tight. It just gives the spine some more space. Hands start beside you. They're staying soft for these first two rounds. Breathe in, Cobra Pose. Front of the ribs lift away from the mat. You're looking about a foot or so in front of the chest so the neck is long. Lower down on the exhale, chin nods in, forehead comes down to the mat. And inhale, Cobra Pose. Lengthen the sides of the waist. Spine and leg muscles are helping to lift you. Lower down on the exhale. Press up hands and knees, tabletop. Curl the toes, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. So you can come to more of a familiar stance for your practice, for your downward facing dog. So that might mean feet or hip distance. Knees may still be bent, but look back at the feet. If the heels are spinning more in toward one another, the toes are turning out, take your feet a few inches apart. See if you can get the heels hidden behind the ankles or lined up with the second toe is another way to think of it. And you can bend one knee, reaching through the opposite heel. Bend the other knee, reaching through the opposite heel, stretching into the calves. Use a few more times to level the body out. Settle back into your downward facing dog. And then walk the feet to meet the hands top of the mat. Bend the knees, take as many steps as you need. Bend the knees further, hands come to the shins, lengthen your spine, flat back. You're looking about 3 or so feet in front of the toes. Fold forward on the exhale, bring the abdomen to the thighs, at the top of the head release, spine lengthens. And still supporting the spine, hands on the shins, lengthen your spine, flat back. Begin to walk the hands up the legs, rolling the shoulders open as you come all the way upright. Take a breath in, both arms sweep. Hands come down to the heart to release. Let's start moving through our flow. Take a breath in, arms sweep up, look up. Fold forward on the exhale, bend the knees, take the hands through the center to begin. Knees can stay bent, they can stay bent the entire practice if that's what the hamstrings, the back need. From here, lengthen, find your flat back, hands either on the floor or the shins. Lower down, step back to your plank pose. Keep looking between the hands, neck stays long, legs are active. Shift forward, lower all the way down onto the mat. Tops of the feet, toes point straight back, Cobra Pose. You begin to press into the hands more, lifting higher if that feels okay for your back. Lower down on the exhale. Press up hands and knees, tabletop. Curl the toes, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. And find your foundation here. Again, making sure that you can press down through all of the fingertips, all of the knuckles in the hand. Hips stay high, reach your right leg up, three-legged dog. Step your right foot to the hands, the left knee lowers, we're coming to a low lunge. You can use your hand to walk your right foot further forward if you need. Hands come to the top of the thigh, make sure that front foot is flat, shoulders lift away from the mat. A little bit of wobbling is okay here, just finding your stability. Both arms sweep as you're ready, take a breath in. Palms face one another, maybe the palms come to touch. If this is a lot on the low back, you can take the hands more in front of you and wider, that can be a nice option. Breathe here. And begin to walk the eyes up the wall, even looking toward the hands, if the neck will allow. The balance will allow. And slowly lower the hands down. Hands come down on either side of the foot. We're shifting back to a hamstring stretch. So you'll curl the back toes, shift your hips back toward that left heel. Draw the top of the right foot back toward you. Try to keep the hips as centered as you can. Now the back of the left leg is helping to support you, so that leg is active so that you aren't putting too much pressure on this front leg and you're protecting the back of the knee. So walk yourself forward, front foot lowers, knee bends, back toes stay curled, you're sliding back to a plank pose. Then the hips will lift up and back, downward facing dog. So you may begin to notice a difference from one side to the other. We'll get things leveled out here. Hips stay high. Inhale, left leg reaches. And step the left foot to the hands. Right knee will lower. We're coming to that low lunge. Adjusting the front foot as you need, and you can use the hand to bring it into place. Front foot is flat, hands come to the thigh. Shoulders lift away from the mat. And then breathing in, the arms will sweep. Being patient with yourself, allowing the body to find its balance, and letting those little wobbles take place. And moving the gaze to assist you with the balance, either looking forward or beginning to walk the eyes up the wall, maybe looking toward the hands. Take another breath here. And lower the hands down. Hands come on either side of that front foot, back toes curl, shifting the hips back to the right heel. Hands can walk back to help assist you, making sure that this right leg is active. It's helping to support the body. So the back of the thigh presses toward the front of the mat to help keep weight off of the back of the left knee. As uncomfortable as it may be on this right knee, you don't want to put too much pressure on that leg that we're stretching. Stay here, take a breath. Nice. Begin to walk the body forward. So the sole of the left foot comes to the mat, knee bends. Sliding to your plank pose. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Adjust the hands and the feet. See what it feels like this time around, those small changes that you've achieved. Bend the knees, walk the feet to meet the hands, top of the mat. Take a breath in here, find your flat back. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, both arms sweep as you rise, come all the way up. Hands come down to the heart to release. Good, bring the big toes to touch. I'm gonna grab a drink in between, feel free to as well. There's a little bit of space in between the heels, so we're coming into chair pose from here. The hips will shift back, arms sweep around. The knees will tilt forward slightly. We just want to make sure that we can see the tips of the toes so they aren't moving too far forward. Think of lifting the space across the middle of the back. Outer hips squeeze towards center to help support you. One more breath here. Exhale to fold, abdomen to thighs to release. And take a breath in, find your flat back. Step the feet back to move through your vinyasa. Plank pose, chaturanga all the way down. I'm lowering flat. Tops of the feet for your back bend. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog as you're ready. Hips will lift, back and the neck releases. Reset, take a fresh breath. Inhale, right leg reaches, three-legged dog. Step the right foot to the hands, left knee lowers. We're coming back to that lunge. Hands come to the top of the thigh to assist you as you come upright. Both arms will sweep, breathing in. And this time let's open the chest. So palms turn toward the wall in front of you. Bend the elbows, cactus or goalpost, your choice of verbiage. As you bend the elbows, front of the shoulders, lift, chest opens wide. Inhale, reach both arms up. And lower the hands down to the mat. Shift back to that hamstring stretch. Back toes curl, hips move toward the back heel as you draw back through the top of the right foot. You'll only be here for a breath or so. Walk the body forward, front foot lowers, knee bends. This time back toes stay curled. Your left palm will plant, back knee can lift. Coming into this rotation, right palm turns toward the wall that you're facing. And back leg is strong, it's helping to support the body. Take another breath here. And unwind, bring both hands down to the mat. Plank pose to move through your vinyasa. Taking your back bend of choice, we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Take your time. Fresh start, fresh foundation here. Inhale, left leg reaches, three-legged dog. Step the left foot to the hands, right knee lowers, coming to our lunge. Hands can assist you in coming upright. Arms sweep as you're ready, take a breath in. And then turning the palms toward the front of the room, bending the elbows, chest opens. Inhale, both arms reach. Lower the hands down, they're on either side of the foot. Curl the back toes, shift the hips back toward that right heel as you draw back through the left. Gotta let the jaw relax. Take another breath. Shift forward, lower the sole of the front foot. Back toes stay curled, right palm comes to the mat. Right knee can lift as you rotate toward the wall, left arm reaches. Find where you need to be. Right leg is strong, helping to support the body. Last breath. Unwind, turn yourself down to the mat. Find your way to plank, your vinyasa to downward facing dog. Legs stay active in your back bend. We'll all meet back, downward facing dog. fresh breath, reset. And bending the knees, your choice, walk or hop feet to meet the hands. I'm walking, so no pressure. Take a breath in, find your flat back. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, arms sweep as your eyes come all the way up. Right, hands come down to the heart. All right, let's come into a little bit of balance work, tree pose. I will turn to face you. We'll start with the left leg down on the mat. Bend your right knee, turn it out at an angle. So we don't want the knee to go all the way over to the side of the room because that's going to turn the hips. So find an angle that's somewhere in between. Heel can come to the inside of the standing leg and you can just be here. Or foot to the inside of the shin. We'll see where balance is today. Inside of the thigh, hand can help you. So each day is different. Be patient with yourself here. A little bit of wobbling is okay. That's what those muscles are for. The arms can reach as you're feeling steady. Excellent job. Slowly bring everything back to center. Knee comes forward, foot lowers down, breathe in, arms sweep up. Interlace the fingers. Index finger stays out. We're tilting over toward the right side, getting more length through the side of the waist. Either looking toward the feet or looking underneath the arm. And that stretch through the side body, through the space under the shoulder. Bend the elbow, bring the shoulders upright, release the hands down. Good, let's do the other side. Your left knee will bend. Knee turns out at an angle. Heel comes either to the ankle, maybe the shin. Maybe the foot comes to the inside of the thigh. And this side may feel very different from your previous. That's okay. Hands might just stay in front of you on this one. Arms can reach as you're ready. Be just as patient as you were on the previous side. Keep the breath smooth and calm. Excellent work. Bring everything back to center. Lower the foot down. Breathe in, both arms sweep. Interlace the fingers. You'll tilt over in the other direction, left side or whichever side you didn't do previously. Keep firm pressure in both feet, either looking toward the feet or underneath that arm. I'm going to stretch through the side of the waist, the shoulder. Bend the elbows, bring yourself upright, both hands release. Take a full breath in, arms sweep up, look up. Hands come down to the heart. And let's step into warrior two from here. Your right foot will step forward, left foot steps back, and maybe a couple of steps back. You want to position yourself so that the knee is centered over the ankle, toes and knee are going straight forward. Back leg is straight, arms will reach out beside you at shoulder height. Palms are down, you're looking over the right fingertips. Press the mat away from you with the outside of the left foot. Make sure the sole of the right foot is flat. Shoulders soften, take another breath here. Lower the back hand, flip the right palm, reverse your warrior. Legs stay steady, adding length through the side body. An extended side angle, again, legs stay exactly as they are. You're leaning forward, placing the right elbow on top of the right thigh, left palm will turn up and sweep all the way overhead. We will revisit this one, so you don't have to take it to your fullest extent just yet. See where you can find more space and also where you can soften just a touch. Take the left hand back to the hip, pressing through that back foot to bring the shoulders upright, your warrior two. Hands then come to the hips. Turn both feet toward the wall in front of you. Heel toe things back to center. And then step to the top of the mat. Take a breath in, both arms sweep. Turn the palms toward the wall in front of you. Cactus the arms, open up the chest. Inhale, both arms reach. Hands come down to the heart. Let's do the other side. Your left foot will be forward, right foot steps back. Finding the placement, front knee and toes are going straight forward. You're pressing through the outer edge of that back foot, making sure the knee, the ankle aren't rolling towards center. Both arms will come out beside you at shoulder height, palms are down. Looking over the left fingertips. Keeping the breath calm and steady. Finding those spaces where you can work a little bit more. Those areas where you can work a little less. Take another breath here. Lower the back hand, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Legs stay strong, lengthening through the side of the waist. Extended side angle, lean forward. Left elbow will come to the top of the thigh, still pressing through that back foot. Right palm turns up toward the ceiling and then reaches all the way overhead. Finding the space through the body. Both legs strong and steady. You don't have to take it to the fullest extent just yet. We will have time to revisit. Give yourself another breath. Keep pressing through that back foot. Right hand comes to the hip. Shoulders pull back toward the back foot to bring you back, your warrior two. And bring the hands to the hips. Turn both feet toward the side of the mat. Heel toe things back to center. And then step to the top of the mat. Inhale, both arms sweep. Palms turn forward, cactus or goalpost the arms to open the chest. Breathe in, both arms reach. And hands come down to the heart. Nice, so before we flow through this one, let's step into a triangle pose. So the feet will stay in the same stance as your warrior two. Go ahead and start with your hands on your hips. Right foot will be forward, left foot steps back. Find that stance for warrior two in the legs. Still keeping even pressure through that back foot. So by keeping your back leg active, that will help take pressure off of your front leg, your front knee in the stretch. Keep your left hand on the hip. Lean forward, take your right hand to the front of your shin, pressing into the shin with the hand that's supporting the back, pressing through the back foot. Now lengthen through the right knee. You'll feel a stretch on the back of the thigh and the inside of the thigh. Shoulders then turn toward the wall so they stack on top of one another. If you're able to make it down to the mat with the hand, you can go for it. If you need the support of a shin or a wall, you can of course take that option. Left arm can reach. Finding the space through the side of the waist. Even pressure in the soles of both feet. One more breath here. Take the hand to the hip, bend your right knee, right palm flips to reverse your warrior. Find new space. Level the body out, warrior two. Nice, bring both hands to the hips, turn both feet toward the wall. Heel toe things back to center. Step to the top of the mat. Breathe in, find space. Hands come to the heart to release. And let's do the other side. Left foot is forward, right foot steps back, hands stay on the hips just so the feet can find their positioning. Keeping that pressure through the back foot. Right hand can stay on the hip here as we find our placement. Left arm will reach forward, pressing onto the shin to support the back. This back leg is your anchor as you begin to straighten your left leg. It, of course, does not have to straighten. You will find a stretch with it bent if that's where you need to be. Hand can be on the shin, it can come down to the ground, or you can use that wall or chair. Turn the shoulders so they stack on top of one another. Top arm can reach if that's working for you today. Breathe in here. Steady in both legs. And the stretch to the inside of the left thigh, right side of the waist. Keep pressure in that back leg. Right hand comes to the hip. Bend the left knee, flip the left palm to reverse your warrior. Level out the hands, warrior two. And take the hands to the hips, turn both feet to the side of the mat, heel toe things to center. Step to the top of the mat. We'll flow through our warrior sequence. Breathe in, sweep the arms up. Fold forward on the exhale, the arms sweep back. Take a breath in here, find your flat back, and then step the feet back to move through your vinyasa. Take your time here, be purposeful in your movements. We'll all meet back downward facing dog. Adjust the hands and feet as you need. Breathe in, right leg reaches, three-legged dog. Right foot steps to the hands, left heel will spin, warrior two, pull your left shoulder back. Hands come level. Lower the back hand, flip your right palm to reverse. Extended side angle. This is where you can explore this pose a little more deeply. Your left or right elbow can be on top of the thigh, or maybe you can bring the hands down to the hand down to the mat today. We'll just take the left arm, bring it right over that left shoulder so the palms stack. Either looking toward the front foot, toward the wall in front of you, or up at that top hand. Last breath here. Slowly pivot, find your way to plank. Your vinyasa to downward facing dog. You can go straight back down dog if the shoulders need some time. Meet back in down dog, reset things. We'll come into the other side. Inhale, left leg reaches. Step the left foot to the hands, right heel will spin, warrior two, right shoulder pulls back. Hands level with the shoulders. Lower the right hand, flip the left palm to reverse. Extended side angle, left elbow either comes to the top of the thigh, maybe the hand's able to make it to the ground, right arm will reach so the shoulders stack. Both legs are active, both feet continue to press. Last breath here. Rotate yourself down, find your way to plank. Your vinyasa. Taking your time. We'll all meet back, downward facing dog. Take a moment, take a breath here. And then lower the knees down to the mat. And take a child's pose. Knees come wide, big toes come together, sitting back toward the heels. Notice those small shifts that have taken place in the body. The difference in this child's pose compared to the first that you did in practice. And bring yourself forward, hands and knees. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, walk the feet to meet the hands top of the mat. Take a breath in here, find your flat back. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, arms sweep as you rise, come all the way up. Hands come down to the heart to release. Okay, let's do our pyramid pose to stretch into the hamstrings further, and then we'll start to wind down. You'll step your right foot forward, left foot will step back. Making sure that your hips and your shoulders are facing forward. Still keeping pressure in that back leg. Take a slight bend to your right knee so you can lower your abdomen onto the right thigh. Hands will come down toward the mat, or you can put your hands on the front of the shin. You can also use that wall or a chair if you need some assistance in this pose. Either looking toward the front foot or letting the head release, looking toward the back leg. Finding length from the back heel through the low back, middle back, and tops of the shoulders. The neck, the jaw to soften. Taking another breath here. Keeping pressure in that back leg, bending your front knee. Hands come to the hips to pull the shoulders back. Step the feet together. Breathe in, sweep the arms up. Hands come down to the heart to release. Let's do the other side. Left foot is forward, right foot steps back. Hips are facing the front of the mat, shoulders are forward. A little bend to the front knee as you lower yourself down. Hands come down to the ground or to that wall or chair, whatever you're using to assist you in this position. This side may feel more loose or more tight from the previous, and allowing yourself to observe that without fixing or problem solving with it. Just letting it be. Being in the moment. Looking toward the front foot or letting the head release, looking toward the back leg. Letting the back of the body soften and slide, finding new length. Keeping the breath smooth and calm. Last moment here. Keeping pressure in the back foot as you bend to the front knee. Hands come to the hips to pull the body upright. Step the feet together. Take a breath in, sweep the arms up. Exhale to fold, arms sweep back as you lower down. Breathe in here, find your flat back. Step the feet back to move through your final Vinyasa. Take your time. Each transition is important. We'll all meet back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. Noticing the changes you created. Where does the body feel stronger? Where does the body feel longer? So lower the knees down to the mat. Reach both legs forward, Dandasana staff pose. The toes pointing up, you can bend the knees if the low back needs some extra help. You can also take the hands beside you to help lengthen the spine if you feel like you're rolling backwards or you're needing to hold on to the legs, the hands can be almost like a kickstand for you in this pose. They can even help tilt you forward if you need some help with getting the torso more toward the thighs. If that's not the case, you'll breathe in, sweeping the arms up. Fold forward on the exhale. If you aren't able to reach the feet, you can hold on to the outside of the calves or the knees. Feeling the back of the legs open in the direction of the mat. Feeling the back of the ribs open in the direction of the ceiling. One more moment here. Walk yourself upright. Bend the knees will come onto the back. Do one round of bridge and then a little bit of twisting before our final Shavasana. Bring the knees in toward the chest. Let the shoulders, the back of the head soften onto the mat. Keep the knees bent, lower the soles of the feet onto the mat. Hands will come out beside you with the palms down. So it's not the back of your head, but your shoulders and your feet that are pressing down into the mat for bridge. The back of the head stays light and you're keeping a curve to the back of the neck. I'm looking toward the ceiling. That's going to help me keep that curve, keep the back of the head light. Pressing into the feet. Lift the hips, the low back away from the mat. Feel the front of the shins and the knees reach away from the torso. Opening through the front of the body. Slowly lower the body down to the mat. Let the low back arch as you take a breath in. And then reach the legs long, arms reach overhead, take a full body stretch. Bend the knees, soles of the feet come flat onto the mat. Hands come out beside you, palms are down. Press into the feet, shift toward the outside of the right hip, bring both knees over toward the right. Keeping the shoulders open toward the ceiling, you can either look in the direction of the ceiling or turn the head to look over the opposite shoulder. Take what's working for you today. Bring the knees back to center. Recenter yourself with the mat. And the feet will press so that you can shift onto the outside of the left hip. Both knees, both feet come over toward the left. Chest and shoulders stay open toward the ceiling. Wide through the front of the body. And this release to the outside of the right hip. Unwind, bring the body back to center. Hug both knees in toward the chest. One more time, reaching the legs long, arms reach overhead, taking that full body stretch. Coming into your final Shavasana, the arms will come out wide, just small bend to the elbows. Feet come out wide, and they roll out to the edges of the mat. The eyes move in the direction of the ceiling, and then the eyelids softly close. The intention with this pose is to allow yourself to rest in this stillness. Feeling the back of the head soften, backs of the shoulders release down. The sides of the waist, the sides of the hips glide down toward the mat. Surface of the body becomes light. Allowing the breath to move without effort through the center of the chest. Bringing small motion to the fingers and the toes. Slowly bringing your attention back into the room, rolling out the wrists and ankles. If you're ready, bending the knees, rolling toward the right side, right shoulder and hip come onto the mat. And using the hands to press yourself upright to a seated position. Palms come to touch in front of you. Eyes softly closed. Noticing these changes that you've created in the body and in the mind. Take a full breath in here, feel the chest expand and lift. As you exhale, chin comes in toward the chest, the shoulders release. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your yoga practice, for allowing me to come into your home today. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate your time, your trust. I appreciate being a part of your day. If you'd like to find more yoga classes or any type of exercise classes during this time, you can check out the Genesis Facebook page or the Genesis Go YouTube channel. There are all kinds of activities to utilize during your time at home. I hope to see you again soon. Take care.